There we go. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Good, good, good. So welcome to Entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking a little bit about how to put your businesses together. Hopefully some of you have some existing businesses. This is not going to be a comprehensive course, but we're going to try to cram as much of it as we can into this. So we're not going to give you a lot of homework. So a lot of this stuff we're going to be working on together. Typically the way that I will give you a quick background of what Helios is, starting with why we do what we do. And the reason for that is social mobility. Social mobility is one of those things that is, let's say if you were born into poverty, the odds of you moving out of poverty, incredibly small here in the triangle. There are some places where social mobility is actually pretty good. People have maybe not equal chances, but they have a lot of chances in moving up. Here, it's a lot more difficult. In fact, as an example of that, in the early 1900s, Durham, North Carolina had the highest number of Black millionaires than any city in the entire world. Not North Carolina, not the US, any city in the world. Today, 22% of all African Americans in the city of Durham live in poverty. And those are numbers that are everywhere. It's happening all over the place. And it's not just happening African Americans, Latinx community, LGBTQ, women, single parent, right? They're just this group of folks that seem to be getting left behind sometimes. And so if you are already someplace where you are living in poverty, no matter what the race is, the odds of getting out of it get to be slim. Helios realized that there is a place where people have an opportunity to level the playing field, and that is entrepreneurship. They always say there are three ways really to make money in America. One, to inherit it. I can tell you honestly, if every single one of my family members got on a plane, flew to visit me, and that plane crashed, I would be left with all of their fortunes, and that might be $1,000, right? So I'm not inheriting anything. The other way is property, right? If you own some property, your property values will hopefully go up, and you might be able to cash those in one day, especially if you own a lot of property, but not many of us do, right? The third way is to own your own business. And in truth, no matter what people tell you, anyone can start a business. And that's really what Helios is based on. Our entire premise is that we can help people earn a fair living wage through their businesses, and just as importantly, pay a fair living wage, because we aren't trying to create slumlord businesses. We have all had jobs where we got paid crap. We're not trying to create other businesses that do that same thing. So that is Helios's purpose, to help people earn a fair living wage, support their families, go on vacation. I'm not trying to make you rich. Our job is just to be those people who do have sort of this privilege and advantage. They get to go ask their mom, oh, I want to start a business. You started a business, Mom. Well, what advice do you have for me? They get to go ask one of their uncles who runs a shop somewhere, right? I didn't have that. And a lot of people that I know don't. So Helios is wanting to do that for people. And much like your family members, we don't charge. So for our organization, really, there's only 3 requirements that we have. You do not have those for this class. We are partners with Step Up Durham. So for us, first thing is that you come from a household that makes less than fair living wage. And this is a running scale, right? We use a number that MIT has come up with. And for that, it is based on the number of children and working adults in a household. So if you're single, living by yourself, fair living wage is actually only about $11 an hour. If you're a single parent, fair living wage is like $27 if you have one kid, and it goes up exponentially after that. That's what we use to note if people earn a fair living wage or not. Second requirement is that you are working in your business at least 5 hours a week. The reason that's important is because most people, there's a saying that I love, and it's very true. If you want help from someone, ask a busy person. Busy people are motivated. You might worry they have too much stuff to do. If you go ask someone that's just hanging around, sitting around, generally that person doesn't have any motivation of their own, right? And so they're probably not going to be in a place to help you very much. We find that entrepreneurs are going to entrepreneur. Sometimes you got an idea for a business. At least you're researching, moving forward, trying. You want to bake cakes? You can't just tell me you want to bake cakes and you've never done it in the last 10 years. The people who are out there trying to hustle, we can absolutely help them. Lastly, you have to make sure that your business is legalizable. Doesn't have to be legal yet. If you're selling cakes out of the back of your trunk, that's illegal, highly illegal. We're not going to stop you from doing it. We're going to help you get to a place where doing that is more legal. You've got your licenses and all of that. And we're really fortunate the city of Durham supports that. There are some places that would not allow me to help people that are running a business like that. We don't have to worry about that. But I got to make it legal. I got to be able to make it legal. So if you're selling stuff and you can't tell me where it comes from, I probably can't help you. So that is, in a nutshell, what Helios is and why we do what we do. Today, what you guys are going to go through and over the next few weeks is a condensed version of our class, but it's the same sort of cohort model. I'm really hoping that you guys talk to each other. You're going to learn as much from each other as you do from me, 100% certain. So I figure we can go ahead and get started. What I would like is introductions. Just name kind of what your interest is in entrepreneurship, and if you have run a business or have a business. And note, I don't want anyone thinking like, oh, a business is only if I got a business license and I'm making so much. Look, if you paint fences and you've painted two and someone paid you for it, that's a business. Your side hustles are businesses. So I want to hear if you guys have had those, and I'll probably ask you a few questions about it. So I figure let's do this. If everyone turns their camera on, I'm going to pick somebody, and then when you're done with your introduction, popcorn it over to someone else who has their camera on, then turn your camera off. That way we'll know who's left. So let's see. I'm going to start with Kim Clark. You're in my top left. So name, a little bit of background, and your interest in entrepreneurship, whether you own or have ever run a business before.
My name is Kim. I'm currently a CPA. I work as a controller for a small medical device company. I have never owned a business. I would like to. I would like to at least develop a side hustle. So that's my interest.
Nice. And Kim, popcorn it over to somebody else.
Leandra?
I knew you was coming, Kim. I'm LaAndrea. I'm working for Step Up and Gold Triangle. I've never owned a business, but I've been interested since I was a little girl, had many ideas, but didn't know who to go to and what to talk about and how much I can trust them with, because I was always scared. I was like, oh, they're going to take my idea and run with it. So I've kind of always been kind of stagnant with it.
All right, popcorn it over to somebody else.
Cash.
Well, I don't count, but I'll introduce myself. My name is Kashmir Bentley, and I work for Step Up Durham. Nice to meet y'all. Oh, popcorn to Adrian.
Hi, everyone. I'm not quite home yet, but I'll be on camera shortly. But my name is Adrian. I'm a co-partner. This is my 5th phase as a co-partner for Step Up. So it's nice to be here with you all. And I'm a graduate student, and broadly, my research examines employment and training. So I'm really interested in people who shift to entrepreneurship, and then what are some of the mechanisms that cause people to strike out on their own. So I will popcorn it over to Donna.
Hey, I'm Donna Bias. I'm primarily accounts payable specialist. I'm working kind of off and on lately as I look for a new permanent position for now. In the past, I have tried, whoops, sorry, cat chewing on me. I have tried doing a self business in pet sitting, and I do get that off and on still, but not on anything near like a regular basis that I could support myself. I also tried starting a business as an errand runner, an errand service, because I love being out running errands, but I did not know a thing about marketing myself. And so I never got more than one regular client. And of course that was just, when she needed me. So, so there you have it. I've kind of gone back at the moment for, to just, working for other people, doing accounts payable. But my plan is that when I do ultimately retire from working for other people, which may not be that much longer, then I would be doing, I think, because I'm single, no other means of support, I will be working ideally on bookkeeping at home, have some, private clients, and just do that until I, flat can't work anymore. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, and let's turn it over to, how about Micah?
Micah, you're
My
muted.
name's Mike. My name's Mike. I've never really owned a business, but I've done a lot of things for money. I would like to start my own carpentry business. I'm also interested in getting all my ducks in a row and getting all the paperwork finished to sell recreational marijuana before it gets here. I've heard that can take around a year or two to get finalized. I'd like to take care of that. That's it for me. Oh, you know what? Kiwana.
Hi everyone. My name is Kiwana. I have had a business previously. It was a cleaning business. I didn't do too much with it. At the time I was going through a whole lot, so I didn't really do too much. I did a little bit with it, but not as much as I wanted and needed to do. Now I want a nonprofit organization. I have a lot of ideas as far as with personal experiences that I want to achieve and make a change in the world for instance, with at-risk youth. And I'm just happy to be here and to learn new things.
All right, pop over to somebody else.
Micah.
How you doing? My name is Micah. I currently work for Baker Roofing. I fabricate metal. Since Mr. Gerard put it side hustle. I've had a couple side hustles. Clean cars, paint, clean gutters, little things like that. Yes, I'm interested in becoming an entrepreneur. Thank you.
I still got Zoe, Carrie, Takari,
I'm a popcorn to Takari.
Perfect.
Hello, my name is Takari Jones. I currently work for Zwalish and Cook. I never had my own business, but I just took the class to get more insight if it's something I would like to do down the line. Yeah, I'm gonna kick it over to Kimmy. Is that Kenny? Church? Kenny?
Yes, it's Kenny Church.
Great. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Kenny Church, single mom of 3 boys. I currently own a mental health private practice where I do school-based mental health along with outpatient mental health services. That's been, and that's just where I am. My mom invited me here tonight, and I just attended because my mom said so. I had no clue about you guys, but I listened to my mom.
There you go.
And I will popcorn it over to, I'm on my phone, so I'm trying to figure out who's left. I don't see anybody left.
I got Zoe,
Mike.
Kahan, Ada, and Mel.
You said Anita Hunt? That's my mommy.
Oh, great.
You can go, mommy. Yeah.
Anita. Looks like Anita.
I'll pass.
There we go. There we go.
I'll pass.
You'll pass? Okay.
Yeah.
Mel. Mel Gottschall. All right, we'll get Mel in a little bit. All right, good. I see there's quite a bit of experience here. And I love that. There's a couple things that I kind of wanted to address, but today, the big thing that we're talking about, Kashmir, how long we got today?
We have until 7:20.
Okay, perfect. So the thing really we want to talk about today is problem solving, right? So a lot of you got ideas for a business. Let's talk about what those ideas are and how they matter. And you can throw cameras back on. Business is about solving problems, period. That's it. And not problems for you, right? The more problems you can solve for the most people is the most successful business, period. Period. That's it. That's really what the definition is of a valid, good business, right? You guys are in the cone of safety. Ideas that you have here, they can stay here. Let's say, for example, I don't know, let's think of a problem that's not all that real. Maybe it's something that annoys me. I think that bowls put in a dishwasher, they need to have a perfect bowl stand, right? That fits just perfectly so I can sit my bowls right in there and I know where they go. They're not leaning and clinking on each other. That's fine. That's an annoyance for me. And maybe there's a whole lot of people in the world that agree, but I kind of doubt it, right? So if I had a whole business that was based on making bowl racks to go into dishwashers, I would probably not do very well. On the other hand, let's make up a business that I've not thought of before, right? Because the world has plenty of problems. So really, you're just thinking about a problem that you had. Let's say, well, let's use transportation. That's always an issue for me, right? So Uber, Lyft, all those things are great. Taxis, we have all that, right? I don't know any of those people. I would really like to be able to get somewhere quick under my own power. So let's say I decided to string zip lines all across the city so that at any point you can go latch yourself in and just swing to wherever you needed to go, right? Maybe no one's interested. One, it's going to be an exorbitant amount of money, so it's probably not going to work. But let's say I had some secret and I could make it cheap. That's the sort of thing that a bunch of people would say, wait, I don't have to wait for a ride. It's not dangerous. I can just pop up there, swing on to where I need to go, not run into anybody and be somewhere super quick. done, right? I make a killing as long as it doesn't cost me too much money, right? Everything, you could go through your whole day and literally just think of any time you got annoyed by a thing, that is a potential business. Netflix, does anyone know why Netflix got started? Anyone? Even a guess? Netflix got started out of spite. The owner of Netflix started it because he'd racked up so many late fees at Blockbuster Video, he decided to create a system so that there were no more late fees. He created Netflix based on that, where you would just get videos, you pay a monthly fee every month. You never had to pay a late fee. You can keep a DVD for 8 years if you want to, as long as you keep paying your regular dues. That was the whole reason that Netflix got started, right? He saw a problem, he fixed that problem, right? It can be a problem that you have on your own. It could be a problem with another product that you see. You could say, Kia, for example, thought that there was no place you could buy a new car that was inexpensive. Now, this is a long time ago. Kia used to be the crap car. Kia has shot up in value, and we'll talk about that when it comes to marketing, right? But when they first started, someone at Kia said, yeah, you know what? If I want to buy a brand new car, the prices, so I'm going to use today prices because I don't remember what they were then, but I want to buy a new car. I can't get a good new car for less than $16,000, $18,000. I just can't do it. At the time, Kia said, you know what? We should be able to buy a stripped down car. No one trying to sell you a bunch of accessories and crazy stuff. A car that's reliable, but it's got no bells and whistles for $10,000 to $12,000. And that's how Kia got started. They saw a problem in the world. They tried to solve that problem for as many people as they possibly could. So that is really what your business is going to be about. So one of the things that I hear a lot when I hear of people who have an idea for a business, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that it could be bad. And that is people who have a skill, something that they're good at, that they want to do, and you try to turn a business into that. So Donna, this is kind of for you. I started a pet sitting company as well a few years ago. But I'll tell you why I started it. My wife and I, or my girlfriend and I at the time, were going to, we were just going out of town. We were going to be gone for a week. We lived in Carborough, and we had 2 dogs and a cat, and I just wanted someone to pet sit them. I was relatively new to the area, so I didn't know anyone that would do it. I tried to hire pet sitters, and the only pet sitters I could find were uninsured college students. Maybe they're responsible, but I don't know these people, and I don't want them in my house for a week, right? And if anything goes wrong, that's not their fault even. They don't know how to deal with it. And so I ended up having to, because I didn't have any choice in the matter. When I got back, I started a pet sitting company that was insured. We were bonded, which just means that if one of my employees goes into someone's house and steals something, our insurance covers that too. So we were insured in case there was any trouble with the animals, if anything went wrong. And it turns out that peace of mind is the thing that I wanted. That was the problem that I was running into with regular pet sitters. And I was not alone. My pet sitting business blew up. It had the most unoriginal name ever. Perfect Pet Sitters. I'm not proud of it, but there it was. But it blew up. We took over another pet sitting company and bought a third pet sitting company and just made it a little bit bigger. And the only reason that I sold it was because it got so big that I wasn't quite comfortable with running it anymore. But also selling my list was like, I didn't have to work for quite a few years after this. So it was really nice. I got to go do art. So a little bit of brag, but also solve a problem. The reason I tell you that story is because my brother, who lives in New York, heard that my pet sitting business was doing well and said, ooh, I'm going to start a pet sitting business too. And I said, why? You're in New York. There's a pet sitter on every corner. I see them on TV. It's almost a cliche that there's just people that go into an apartment complex and just, take 20 dogs out on the street at the same time. Are you sure there is room for another pet sitter? He just says, oh no, if you can do it, I can do it. Not taking into effect that he's not solving a real problem. Obviously, his pet sitting business did not do well at all. Didn't have anything to do with his marketing, didn't have anything to do with personality. There's just so many pet sitters. And so he was hoping to do this not as a side hustle, but as a full business. I am an artist. I do portraits. There's not a demand for portraits here. I'm not solving any problem. Hey, does anyone here want a portrait of yourself over your fireplace so you can just look at it while you're watching television? Anyone? Raise your hand. No? Yeah, that's exactly what I run into all the time, right? But that's only here. In Virginia, for some reason, portraits are all the rage. People pay me to get portraits of a spouse, the family, instead of a family portrait, like photography. People will pay for actual artists to come in and do those paintings, right? So sometimes just a matter of finding your thing. You want to be a fence builder? How many fence builders are there already, right? So if no one woke up and said, man, I need a fence built and I'm having so much trouble, then you becoming a fence builder is not a great business idea. So these are the things that you really want to start thinking about when you start looking at starting your business. So any questions before we want to talk about a couple other little things that folks had, and then you guys are talking again. We're going to talk about some potential business ideas, problems that you've seen. So any questions? Cool. First thing I want to address, talking about side hustles. So a few of you were waiting to retire, waiting to get out of other jobs, waiting for another thing to come up. I'm going to dispel a few myths that I've already heard, and then we'll talk a little bit about problems we can solve. One, the average number of streams of income. That means money sources, right? I got a full-time job, a part-time job. I wrote a book. I rent whatever, right? I'm renting a property. The average number of streams of income that the wealthy people have is 7. 7 streams of income. A lot of us tend to think that rich people in particular had one amazing job or one investment that did it, or, oh, they made all their money in the stock market. It's generally not true. It took 7 different streams of income running at the same time, right? You talk about hustlers. These are people with 3 part-time jobs. They've invested in something, renting some property, what have you, right? So you don't have to wait. Every one of your streams of income doesn't have to be $100,000 a month. There are 2 ways to make $1 million. Sell a thing for $1 million or sell 1 million things for $1. And now streams of income do that. If you've got multiple businesses, they all can be really small. But if you got 8 of them, you are making a great deal of money, right? Stephen King writes so many books because he was never going to get rich on writing one. Oh, The Stand was great, but he wasn't going to get rich on it at all. And even though he wrote a bunch of them, it's not like he had to build up to get to one that just made all his wealth. That's not how it works. He needs multiple things happening. So that's one thing that I want people to note. Many streams of income as you can get and handle if you care about money at all. I think the other thing that I find is interesting is I hear this a lot too. I can't remember exactly who said it, but when you talk about having a business idea and not wanting to tell people because you're worried about them stealing it, don't ever worry about that for 2 reasons. The first one is people are lazy. They just are, right? Your business idea, I don't know you. I don't know how amazing your brain is, know what kind of problems you're solving in the world, but it's probably not original, right? There's not a lot of original ideas out there. There just aren't. You thinking about starting a business that you want to compete with some TV station, but you know what? I'm only going to have people that were in the military because I think that's really important to put that. There's a military station already, right? The ideas that we have aren't super original and people are lazy. And so if anyone was going to do it already, they would have done it already, right? When you go and say, hey, I'm thinking I want to do this, and here's more proof to that. Helios's model used to be, when I was the executive director of an organization called Bull City Forward, one of the things that we used to do is put a whole business together and then give it to someone. I've done all the work. You want a food cart? We will put a food cart together. We did like 5 of these food carts. Here you go. We've done the math for you, all the paperwork. It's filed. All you got to do is get behind the food cart, pick this place, which we already picked. So you just got to go there, take it, boom. You got a business that we are pretty certain is going to do really well. You know how many people took them and ran? None, not a single one, not one person. People aren't going to take your idea. They're not even going to take your idea if you leave it out on the street with all the instructions to do it. It's just not going to happen, right? The other thing is that it takes telling your idea to make it happen. A lot of folks, and I see this a lot, I see this so often, and it infuriates me to some extent because it's one of the simplest ways to get successes. And that is not to get all metaphysical about it, right? This ain't the secret, unless you care about the secret. It is basic psychology and socialization. If I want something, me keeping it to myself makes it harder for me to get it. The moment I say to 10 people, you know what I really want? I want such and such. The odds of me getting that thing shoot up by a lot, not a little bit, right? All of you right now might be thinking, you know what I want for dinner? I don't know, pizza. You just think it to yourself, maybe you can order some pizza. Maybe you don't know where to go. Maybe you want something more exotic. I wonder if there's a place here that has, I don't know, frog's legs. I don't know if anybody wants frog's legs, but if you're thinking about it by yourself, you may or may not get them. You tell people in your household, some friends that you want frog's legs, someone's probably going to find you some frog's legs and you will have them. If not by the end of the day, by the end of the week. Your business is exactly the same, right? You are needing to tell people what you want to start and listening to people say, oh, I tried to start. Oh God, I started a pet sitting company. It was terrible. And here's why. Doesn't mean you don't do it. Learn from their mistakes. But the odds are good that someone will say, oh, I know someone that started a pet sitting company. You should talk to them. I can't tell you how many of our entrepreneurs had things like that absolutely happen. Oh, I can't get this business started until I get $1,000 because I need to buy whatever. And then they put it out in the world. Then they got $1,000 from someplace, right? So don't hold your cards too close to the vest. Now, I'm not saying expose all your secrets. I'm not saying that if you got an amazing KFC chicken recipe that you just want to blurt out all your herbs and spices. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are starting a fancy chicken restaurant with herbs and spices, tell people that you got that and that they should come try it out. And yeah, competition can also come try it out, right? You're not going to be able to put yourself out in the world without your competition hearing about it. You're just not. So embrace it. Cool. Any questions? Those are my rants. Anything else? All right. Let's go around and start talking about problems because I think that's really how we're going to get to the crux of businesses that we want to start. Now, this is the above ground way of thinking about this, right? The best business is problem first. You know what sucks? Blah, blah, blah. Someone's willing to pay you to fix that thing for them. Why? Let's hear it. People are lazy, right? We will pay people to do the simplest thing for us. Do any of you know the fee that Uber Eats charges you to pick up some food? It's nuts. If I order McDonald's, because McDonald's now delivers, oh yeah, McDonald's delivers $5. I can have a meal to my door. It's going to cost you $23 because first you have to pay the $10 and whatever change for the up fee for Uber, for the Uber Eats or whatever the thing is, right? And then, assuming that you're good, you will tip that person, right? Like the price just starts to shoot up. Can you do anything about it? Yeah, you can go pick it up yourself. Do you want to? Well, no, not really, right? I've had an order for a dinner that I ordered. Me and my wife came to like $23, and we both said, all right, that's a little expensive. $23 though. We'll be fine. That'll be our dinner. When I click boop, then it actually went up to $35 That's very different. That's a very different amount of money. All of that because we just didn't want to cook. We didn't want to wait. We didn't want to have to go get it ourselves. We didn't want to put shoes on, right? Lazy. Netflix is killing it because we don't want to get up, go to the movie theater, right? People are lazy. You don't want to cook for yourself. Even those, now there's whole meals that get shipped to you in a little box. All you got to do is put the ingredients together, follow the little recipes. There's like Fresh Market and Blue Apron and all these things. We did it for a little while because we're all so lazy. I'm not knocking the lazy people. We need them for business to go. But what was interesting is that when I got it, I just thought, man, for the price of this, I could look at this recipe. My wife and I could literally just go to the store and buy these things at way less and then just prep them ourselves and cook. And then we both talked about it and we're like, yeah, we could totally do that. Anyway, let's pick our food for next week. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And then we didn't do it, right? We did Blue Apron for a long time. So you're literally cashing in on that sort of thing. We just have it. So what I would love is a quick exercise. Man, time flies when you're just gabbing. And that exercise would be just figuring out problems. I literally want to make a list of problems that you've run into. And our goal, one of the things I always try to shoot for is 10 to 20. From there, we'll create the business. Don't try to create the business yet. I don't want anyone to say, ooh, you know what, we need a new car wash down the street. Don't tell me that. Just say, you know what, people's cars are dirty around here because of all the pollen, or there's a car wash down the street, but they're all so expensive. We need a less expensive car wash. Or there's a car wash, there are like 3 car washes here, but none of them do engine cleaning. And I feel like that's important, right? So you're just gonna tell me problems. So let's hear them. I'm gonna start capturing them. We're shooting for 10 to 12 or 10 to 20. Big or small? Small, there's no too small.
I would say, kids are being, well, no, I'm not gonna say that. Kids are become criminals due to the fact of the lack of knowledge, the lack of support, resources.
Child support and resources. Nice. One.
Well, I find this annoying. I have 3 dogs and trying to take them to the groomers is annoying.
Multiple dogs to the groomers. Nice. All right.
Lack of skills learned from the parents, therefore they can't teach the children the skills.
Learn parental skills. Nice. What else? Come on, this world's full of problems. You're telling me nobody in this room got any problems?
Financial wherewithal in the Black community.
Absolutely.
You can wait forever for your small side road to get cleared off when it snows or ices.
Oh yeah, small roads. Nice. I got one. Crappy sci-fi shows. What else?
So,
What was that?
I'm supposed to be doing what?
Just naming problems. Any
No.
problems that you run into. Any problems in the world.
The towel, you gave me that. Look, but it's
We can't hear you
potholes,
breaking up.
oh,
potholes in the road.
I can't get back there. You said what? I can't get back there. Can't get back where? What you need?
I don't think that's for us.
What you say?
Anita Hines, put yourself on mute, please.
Takari, go ahead.
But I don't think
I
he.
mean, it's a common problem, but potholes in the road,
Nice.
they're terrible. They're terrible. They're killing the cars. You need car protection for potholes, because
Oh, yeah.
Roxborough's
Woo.
horrible.
Foxborough in particular, nice. Yeah, I've had to get a rim, get a new rim because of that. What else? What problems you run into today? Go.
There are some cars that are built so low in front that when you pull into your parking space, you roll right over that concrete stopper, and it'll pull like the little spoiler thing right off the front.
Yep. Nice. I don't know about where you are. I am over by North Carolina Central, and the only restaurant I got over here is Burger King. No, yeah, Burger King. That's all I got. If I want to go get something quick, one of the reasons we end up ordering out all the time, so we just need something. We need more food choices,
Yeah.
at least in this area.
There's a KFC up there too,
Mm.
up by the Walgreens on Fayetteville.
I got one.
y'all just gotta check.
I'm at Fayetteville and Umstead, and there's just the KFC and then like Wings Garden.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They got the Checkers.
Where's that?
Oh yeah, I haven't been to the Checkers yet. That's right, I forgot
Yeah, it
about
just
that.
opened not too long ago.
Yeah, about a month ago on Fayetteville.
Nice.
Nonetheless, you still need more options.
Mm-hmm.
I
What
got
else?
one. I got a problem.
Go
Why do I
ahead.
have to make 3 times the amount of rent to move into a place?
Was this like the down payment and all that stuff? Or is this just the like the monthly payment?
I'm gonna have to make 3 times the monthly payment.
Hmm.
Yeah. On some places I apply to.
But that's their requirement to let you move in? Whoa.
Yeah, I've ran into that a couple times.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a problem. What else?
I'm sorry I came in late. Can you rephrase the question so I don't? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking about, before we talk about like what business you want to talk about, like, oh, I want to start a business doing such and such. Instead, we're talking problem level first, because the best businesses solve a problem for the most people. So we're making a giant list of problems that we can potentially create a business. And probably as a class, we're going to pick 2 or 3 of these, and we're going to make a business by the end of this.
A lot of people haven't had a lot of interaction with other people in a long time.
Social isolation. Absolutely.
And for people like me who are introverted and an older age, it can be really hard to connect with other people my age and form meaningful relationships.
Make an addendum. I like that.
I like what y'all were saying about food, Gerard. I think about that part of town that you're in, and that I saw you and Lane at a Harris Teeter that was probably like 5 miles away from you, but just given how awkward that Harris Teeter is to get to, that was probably what, like 20 minutes away from you. Like, and this feels kind of all over Durham, where like nothing is further than 5 miles, but like everything is like 25 minutes away, unless you live like in that sweet spot where everything is around you, but then it's crazy expensive to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just an awkward town to be in terms of getting to things.
Nice. We're up to 13 and a half. We're doing good. What else?
Figure out retirement planning and, where you're gonna live. That's not gonna be crazy expensive on limited funds. I mean,
Right.
I've heard of people leaving the country because they can't afford to stay anymore.
Yeah, it makes it seem like you got to be rich to just retire, but that
Yeah,
just seems insane, right?
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard of a lot of people that would take their retirement income and move down to Mexico, and it
yeah.
was a lot more
Portugal is a
affordable.
new one. I've heard a lot of
Whoa.
yeah, I've heard several countries in Asia. Yeah, it's been on my mind. I mean, the older I get, I'm not there, nowhere near there yet, but it's
Yeah.
definitely forefront.
Now,
of
I've
my
heard
mind.
Italy too. One of my friends just
Really?
moved to Italy, not meaning to retire. And it turns out she's like, I don't really have to work here. Like things
Oh,
are,
wow. That's
I've
incredible.
made enough. Things are going well. So
Where
Cool.
in
Oh,
where in
Vivian
Italy?
said Costa Rica. Yeah,
Costa
I have
Rica,
heard
I
of
have
that
heard
too.
that.
Heard that too. I heard it's gorgeous.
That's what I've
I'll
heard
find,
about it too.
yeah, I'll find out where in Italy. I'm jealous, but yeah, Costa Rica is
Yeah.
great. In fact, Costa Rica was one of those places that this is maybe a decade ago. I know people firsthand. So this isn't like my cousin knew a guy. Like I know 3 people who took their vacation in Costa Rica because Costa Rican doctors typically go to American universities, and they went to Costa Rica to get LASIK eye surgery instead of doing it like here in the US because the price was so low and they still had money to take vacation for a week. So they would go down, have a week's long vacation, and then on the last day, they got LASIK and then got on a plane and came back to the States and healed up for a few days. So
Wow.
yeah, it's great. Oh, Thailand. Oh man, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I've read about people retiring there too.
Yeah, and I've heard it's beautiful.
Man, now I want to travel.
LASIK, going back, is literally the worst and literally the best thing I ever did.
Mm.
I'd never, ever, ever want to do it again. I 1000% have wanted, like, I'm glad I did it once.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anyone who didn't like it.
Just getting shot in the eye with lasers. I feel like that says enough of what's going on.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I think a problem, and this is being connected to Reese City and thinking about Trees Durham, there's like 7,000 problems that go with this, but it's a problem that not everywhere is as green as some places, and that creates multiple levels of problems. So like areas that don't have as many trees, it costs more to heat and to cool their homes. Your air quality is worse. Your health quality is worse. The aesthetics, so kind of your mental health quality gets worse. So something as simple as just having more trees, more grass, drastically improves your life expectancy and your quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of very brick and worn down areas of Durham that deserve some trees and kind of nature, grass, green things.
How fabulous would it be if there were a company or even, like a volunteer organization that would just deal with that one neighborhood at a time?
Yep. Nice. All right. Any more? I know we got, oh, good Lord, 7 minutes. All right. Oh, food deserts. Yes. Food desserts. Yeah, absolutely. That is huge here. Yeah, it's very similar to the issue that we had with the going so far for Harris Teeter. It's just, yeah, I would rather there be a bunch of little shops that I could walk to, than one big one that I gotta drive to. So yeah, beautiful. All right. Anything else top of mind? Beautiful. Nice. Nicely done. All right. I'm going to post this list in the chat. Hang on. It's coming up right now. So everybody can take a quick look. And our goal before we leave here is to boom. Pick the ones, 2, 3, maybe 4 of them that we think might be 1, biggest problems, 2, that we can handle. That's important, right? So there might be some problems in the world that are so huge. Child hunger, massive problem. And do anything about it? Maybe, but not easily, right? Maybe for a small number of people, maybe, right? So maybe that's a terrible example. Maybe if, you know what, here's a problem. Too many people on the planet. I'm not saying that we need to start a business of serial killers, but there's way too many people. This is why they're talking about going into space, right? Like, you know, so Bezos and Musk, it's hard to even muster any energy for these people, but it's a real issue, right? If we can colonize other places, can we do anything about that right now? Probably not in this 6-week class. So this is what we're looking at. Oh, is that what The Expanse is about? Someone has told me that I need to read the books because I do not like the show that much. But apparently the books are what I need to do. Nice. All right. That's good to know. That's my next move. See more books also a thing. So let's talk about any of these that you think are big. Jakari, I see you first. So any of these problems you think are big and that you think that we might be able to solve by creating a business. If you can think of things that fit those 2 things, let's see if we can come up with 2 to 3 of them. Jakari, go.
Now, I had my hand raised about another problem I was just thinking about that I wanted to put out there.
Yeah, what do you got?
People criminal history being used against them after they decide to make a positive change in their life, and it's holding them back from doing what it is they're seeking out to do.
Justice involved history being against. How's that? Good. Yeah, that's real business right there.
I mean, I know everybody don't relate to that, but it's really a big problem when it comes to individuals trying to better themselves.
I think more people relate to it than you think. So we'll talk a little bit about this too, but you have to think about who a problem is affecting people, but also note that there are people that there's sort of a trickle down, right? So when we talk about, well, let's talk about Helios. One of the problems that as I talked about already, that the gap between the haves and the have-nots is just expanding, and that middle is getting eaten out completely, right? Our goal is to get people to be able to support themselves and their families. That's it. I'm not trying to make a bunch of people rich. I'm trying to make sure that everybody's got the opportunity to create a little business. And let's be honest, with a little bit of work, I can get you making enough money to support yourself by selling ice cubes on a corner. It will take a bit of work, and you're never going to get rich at it because there's going to be a lot of competition, believe it or not, for selling ice. But I can get you to do it. There is this place that we are particularly fortunate. And look, I'm going to tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, we're not always fortunate to be in America. We're not one of those people, but this is one of those instances where if you have some of the shortcuts, you can in fact get to a point here, and that point being sort of at this fair living wage thing. And this is one of the things that we work to fight. 2 minutes, insane. All right. Potential things. Anyone got anything they're like, ooh, I want this one. This is the one I want.
I like number 4.
4.
Financial wherewithal in the Black community.
Nice. Beautiful. What else? 2 more.
I like food deserts.
Food deserts.
There's sorry, we'll speak out of one AirPod apiece here. Sorry, we had to blend, but I think Raleigh right now is going through a number of changes in the zoning laws to allow for like small shops in neighborhoods that were previously not allowed. And I look around Durham and see there's a lot of closed down old shops in neighborhoods, just waiting for somebody to come and occupy.
Nice.
Add some value.
Beautiful. Let's do one more.
How about number 11, social isolation for a long time, older people not making relationships?
Perfect. All right. We got 3 business ideas. That's literally now in your quick last 30 seconds here. This is what I used to do with our entrepreneur club at North Carolina Central University. We would do this exercise at the beginning of every semester. We pick 2 businesses and then we would start them, actually start them, get them making a little bit of money, but we didn't have any real stakes in it. And so when we left at the end of that semester, we just shut that little business down, right? It was an experiment for us. We were learning and getting that experience. We're not going to start one of these in the next 6 weeks, but we're going to get as close as we possibly can without actually pulling the trigger. So these are going to be the 3 that we start concentrating on. So any questions before I let you guys head out? It looks like you're going to get a 10-minute break and then you'll be meeting in the main room at 7:30. So any questions before I let people bounce? Awesome. All right. Looks like you're getting snatched away in a little less than a minute. So this was awesome. Looking forward to next week. We will start talking about 2 things in the next couple of weeks: your potential competitors for these businesses and who our customers actually are. In a lot of cases, they are not who you think. So this has been great. Looking forward to talking to you guys next week.
Love the
Thanks,
mystery to it.
Gerard.
Thank you, Gerard.
This is exciting. This is gonna
Good.